What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Cantina Jargon. We're live again. Episode 6.
Yeah.
Not episode 6 of Cantina Jargon. Episode 6.
31 of Cantina Jargon.
31. Wow. I did not realize last week was the big 30, the big 3-0.
No,
that was 2 weeks ago.
I think in like 2 weeks we'll be at like our 1 year mark, which is weird to like think about.
That is crazy. I mean, we've been I like how we started doing this just as like yeah, we'll talk every week about Ahsoka, and now we just keep going. So.
And now we're just here.
Yeah, we're just here. I like the Sith Talk app, man. Shout out to
Tony. I saw that Tony posted them, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get it for my wife. And then when she got it, I'm like, might have to steal it. But she doesn't know. She doesn't know that. So
I like it.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I guess August 20th was our first ever Cantina Jargon, but we recorded it like 2 days prior, so it'll be August 18th. Should be our
we used to record them.
Yeah.
Now we're live, and there's already comments.
Yeah.
We got RJ. We got Ishigan. Is it Ishigan 511 or is it something else? I need to know.
I'm assuming it's Ishigan.
Yeah, spell it out for me. Irish Potato said, "Did you steal your wife's hat?"
I plead the fifth.
Guilty. Can't wait to see Vanessa Rose Light Whip. I think we're gonna see it tonight. According to your video, you convinced me.
Yeah, we should. If we don't see it tonight, I'm gonna be even more confused as to like what is happening with episode 8. We have to see this episode. So it just wouldn't make sense.
Let's talk. We haven't talked about episode 5, right? Like I don't think we've done that on stream.
Have we?
I don't think so, because we were...
Yeah, last one was episode 4 that we did. So yeah, we didn't talk about episode 5 at all.
Clark. The Galactic Cantina. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for joining. We will definitely get to your questions. Let's talk about episode 5, though, because we have not chatted. We've chatted about it ourselves, but not on stream. So to me, a ridiculously large upgrade from 1 through 4.
Definitely, like for me, it's like sitting with Ahsoka. Like episode 5, like episode 4 was good, but it it's the same thing with Ahsoka. Once episode 5 hit, everything started turning around for me. That's kind of how I'm feeling now.
I remember 5 and 6 were like bangers.
Yeah, and so I'm hoping that this episode tonight will be the same way, as like follow that same path. Yeah, it was definitely isn't amazing. It wasn't perfect, but neither has any other show, and it's definitely a step in the right direction if it's going to continue this way.
I agree. I will say this: it's not perfect. It's far from my favorite Disney Plus show that we've gotten for Star Wars or even Marvel. That being said, I really like the Sith element of it, and I really want to see more of that. I'm like worried. I'm a little concerned that the Osha May storyline is just going to keep dragging it down, because every time they showed up on screen, I was like, can we get back to like Kamir and see what's going on with this guy? Like, so I don't know how you feel, but that's somehow seems like the main storyline, Osha May.
I was thinking about this today. I didn't include it in my video just because I didn't feel like it felt with it. But with the title being The Acolyte, I think that honestly the title is not referring to May, it's referring to Osha.
You think where she's going to turn?
Yeah, and it's referring to where she will go and what she will become. Because she's a failed Padawan, she's a failed witch. She's not going to fail at being an Acolyte. I feel like what if and when Kamir tells her what the events of what really happened, in his mind anyway, that's when we'll see her turn. And I think honestly she might even be more powerful than May.
Well, I mean, she does have like formal Jedi training, so
and we haven't seen her use the Force at all. We've seen her try, but we haven't seen her actually tap into it at all.
That's true. We haven't.
She tried it in episode 1 with the gel cell, and that was it.
Yeah. That's a really good point. There are some clips out there. I don't know if you've seen them about like maybe from episode 8. Have you seen anything from episode 8?
I haven't yet.
All right, let me break it down real quick. I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys. I don't want to spoil anything of episode 8, but I'm gonna tell you that a couple weeks ago, someone who was working on the show posted a bunch of behind the scenes videos on their Instagram, and they had leaked the Khmer was the Sith Lord. That was leaked, 100%. His face in the shot and everything.
I remember seeing that on Twitter. I thought it was like photoshopped or something. Just
no, it came from Instagram and it was quickly deleted. This person worked on the show, whatever. It was quickly deleted. But there were several other shots that are definitely, I thought they were going to be from episode 5. They definitely were not. So I'm just going to say, I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, I've only seen like small little fragments, but like, I think the OSHA thing is very possible. I do think that she's going to become the bad one. The question would be, does she kill May? That would be crazy. So they stopped doing this twin thing for season 2.
Dude, I just saw the footage you're talking about. I just saw on Reddit. Yeah. Dude, it's gonna be juicy. All right,
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
That should be interesting. I'm actually so it does look like it's headed in an interesting place. Amazed Spidey says show would have been great if it focused on the stranger and Soul. I 100% agree. They are the highlights of the show for me.
I will say with season 2 being confirmed, I think that's where they're going to lead into with the ending for episode 8. Even more so now, just seeing that footage that I saw on Reddit.
Yeah. Do you think we'll get another Sith Lord? Because I mean, we're gonna have Amir's the apprentice. Clearly, he's not the master.
No matter how much they want to market as him being the Sith Lord, he's definitely the apprentice. Sorry, I gotta sneeze.
And he gone. Someone else said it here. Hirano Gurin says, I think Khmer will literally seduce Osha to the dark side. The director said something on those lines.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Seduce, yeah. So I think you're onto the right track here. I do want to see how where was that?
I also got to say too, I think honestly with Manny Jacinto, this almost is like a career-defining performance from him. Like,
have you seen Good Place?
Yeah.
Dude, he's so funny in that. Bortles. I keep wanting to call him Darth Bortles.
Darth Bortles. I think like just like the switch, along with like not even like I guess this doesn't really matter, but like how jacked he got, like the switch.
Yeah.
And how, like the 4 months of training for like the saber combat and stuff. Like he's going all out for it, and it definitely shows. Like he has been the best part of the show. Especially after episode 5.
Oh, he looked clean with the saber, man. Dude, that was some of the best saber work we've seen. And dude, I just keep thinking about how bad episode 8 of Ahsoka was when they're fighting all this like death trooper. That was horrible. I'm like, this is some of the worst saber work I've ever seen.
Sabine, but then fighting off the Raiders was the one that was like, okay, this feels kind of good.
That one was okay. And you know what else actually really worked in Ahsoka was Ahsoka versus
Balin?
No, that was pretty decent. But the witch, what's her name? Morgan. That was
the fight was good too.
That was a good fight. But man, when they were fighting off the zombies, I'm just like,
Somebody commented this the other day, one of my shorts, when I talked about like the Ahsoka and Balin fight, and someone was saying that like how like the fighting is so bad and so wooden and so slow, and this isn't how Ahsoka would fight. And my rebuttal to that was well, she's in her 50s now. Ahsoka is, yes, she can be acrobatic. Yes, she can do this and that and everything.
Right.
But she's older now, and she's not going to want to waste the time doing all these acrobatic movements. She's going to want to quickly end the fight as fast as she can so she can move on. She's not going to want to stick around and lollygag. So with her taking slower and methodical plays in her fight, like with her and Balin, like that, to me, that fight was almost like a mind game back and forth with the two of them.
Right. So, it wasn't about the stylistic. It was more about like the tacticalness or the strategy behind like each blow.
And that's why I really like the Ahsoka and Balin fight, is because like we've seen Ahsoka be acrobatic. She can be like jumping around, acting like Yoda essentially.
Right.
But she doesn't have to.
In the Clone Wars.
Yeah, she doesn't have to, and I don't think she even wants to anymore, because like she just wants to move on. She doesn't want to keep fighting. So that's part of why. She wants to just end the threat quickly and move on.
I think that makes sense. Plus, you have to imagine some of the, and I'm totally fine with this too, especially with, headcanon for original trilogy and stuff like that, that some of that prequel like finesse gets lost over time, especially because the Jedi have been gone for so long. So like, I'm totally okay with that.
And also, it just kind of reminds me of Raiders, honestly, like with Harrison Ford.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
the sword fight, like how there's supposed to be this big elaborate sword fight, and that's like no, like I get that they all had food poisoning and that was why, but like it just reminds me of that and that aspect. Like
I do love that scene.
I'm not gonna waste the time on it.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this, and then you just put a yes if I'm right. Ichigen. All right. What would your overall rating be of the show right now? Let's say out of 5, half stars are allowed. And this is a to be decided later on. I mean, you still have to, things are gonna change.
3.5.
Okay, I was thinking 3. I'm a 3.
Understandable.
I was at a 1.5 before episode 5. So
after episode 4, I was at like a 3 for me.
Okay. It's weird because I liked episode 1, and then it was like 3 what I would consider not good episodes, and then 5 was solid, really solid.
And other people were saying too, like with the lightsaber combat, that like yes, okay, this isn't gonna top the Phantom Menace fight. Personally, though, I think that it's better in a way because they're not trying to just hit each other's sabers. Like if you look at Manny Jacinto, he's trying to go for killing strikes every single time, and unlike the prequels where they're purposely hitting each other's sabers. Like
that's a really good point.
Like with the Obi-Wan versus Anakin on Mustafar, like yes, it's insane, but they're both practically hitting each other's sabers the entire time. They're not actually trying to strike one another. Whereas Manny Jacinto, you can see him going for jabs. And like he's purposely trying to eliminate them as fast as possible.
Yeah, there was one. It might have been against Jackie when he jabbed and she like dodged, or maybe it was Soul and he jabbed and he jabbed the other way, and like that was cool because
I think it was Soul,
yeah, and it was like the lethalness of the sabers was actually finally on screen, which we haven't seen. It seems like since the prequels. I mean, I don't even know. Like even in the sequels, did anyone die from a saber?
Han Solo.
Oh, jeez. He also fell down a shaft. So, like, no one died from a saber, though. Like, in a fight.
The Praetorian Guards.
The Praetorian Guards and the Stormtrooper that Finn killed, or a couple he killed.
I mean, yeah, because Palpatine, I mean, I wouldn't even say that it was by a saber. The Knights of Ren, maybe? With Ben Solo?
Yeah, but they also didn't fight with sabers. Like, there was no saber-on-saber battle.
There was no saber-on-saber. I thought you meant just who died by a saber, like getting impaled by a saber.
Well, Ben got impaled by a saber by Rey, and then she heals him the next, minute.
Yeah.
That was the only lethal blow saber-on-saber, though, in the entire sequels.
Yeah, I think that was really the only, saber fight where anything, I guess in episode 7 when Finn gets hit, but that's not fatal either. That's on if you get hit in the back by a saber, I don't care what kind of back that you have, you're not walking again.
Your spine is gone. Now your spine is officially gone, and you shouldn't be able to walk. You shouldn't be able to stand,
let alone the next day.
You shouldn't be able to breathe. It doesn't make much sense. I'll be honest with you. But I mean, even thinking about the original trilogy, no, there's not a lot of I don't really know if there are any deaths saber on saber, but Luke loses a hand in Empire, and he easily could have been killed there. I
mean, you could say A New Hope, but I would argue that Vader didn't even hit Ben.
I would agree. He became one with the Force before he got a strike from a lightsaber or anything.
Yeah, it was only the prequels and the Clone Wars.
That's true. But I'm saying at least in the original trilogy, we see how lethal the sabers are when he takes off Luke's hand, and then when Luke does the same to Vader in the very next movie.
I'll even say in A New Hope when in the bar in the cantina.
Oh yeah.
One time we saw blood in Star Wars.
Yeah, we lost a lot of arms in Star Wars in the original trilogy because the Wampa.
Yeah,
the Wampa lost a damn arm.
Dooku got his hands cut off. That's about really it for. I mean, I guess there's Django as well.
Let's talk about this. Rule 2.
Yeah.
She
want to explain Rule 2? No, you're totally right, and I think that that's where we're heading more so, especially with us leading to this point with Osha and Kamir. I know his name's not fully Kamir. I'm just calling him that for now, just because we don't have really a placeholder.
Here we go.
Although,
Is he Darth Venomous? I guess it's possible.
I mean, it's possible, but I'm gonna wait until we get through the 8 episodes that fully before I say is he Venomous, or because Venomous technically was a Biff, just like at least in Legends. That could be changed though.
Oh man, they're willing to change anything from Legends. But it would be, and I will say this: the show hasn't been amazing by any means, in my opinion. But I did like the lightsaber fight, and because we are now headed towards the more Sith side of the story, Leslie has the opportunity, and it's been done or it's not been done, to do something incredible, and that is to canonize the Plagueis novel.
I think I told you before the show even came out, I'm hoping we'll get something along those lines, and I think we're going to.
I'm kind of leaning towards it too. I think so.
Especially if season 2 is fully confirmed. I don't know if you saw the screenshots I sent you.
I did. It Tony, looks like it's confirmed. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say, for devil's advocate, it's confirmed. So with season 2, I think we're going to pick up off of the cliffhanger that's going to be episode 8, and that'll lead us into, I'm assuming, some sort of Plagueis stuff with Kamir. Because I think Kamir and Osha are going to be trying to overthrow Plagueis, or any other Sith Lord that's available during the time.
Yeah, what's the other guy's name? Tenebus or something like that?
Tenebris.
I don't know how to pronounce
it. Yeah, Tenebris, Plagueis, Venomous, and then...
yeah, because this could still be early for Plagueis.
Yeah, because it's Legends, so roughly Legends, 14 to 16 years old by this point.
Yeah.
And Palpatine, when he found Plagueis, he was around his teens. Don't quote me on that.
I think you're right. Galactic Cantina, one thing the show fails with is the main thing. Osha and May is the worst part of the story. I would have liked to be more Sith focused from the Sith point of view. Yeah, we kind of talked about this already. I agree completely. It's like when they're on screen, it like deflates the story for me. And it's not that Amandla or whatever is a bad actress, because I'd say she's doing fine with what
she plays twins very well.
Yeah, half the time I don't remember it's only one actress. Honestly, I'm not. So it's not really her. It's more that I just don't care about the story there. I don't care that they're witches, and I don't care that they were separated. I don't care. What I want to know about is what the Sith are doing and how they're planning their comeback. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's even meant to make you care all that much. I would just keep looking back to how the first 4 episodes of Ahsoka were to catch everyone up from Rebels and Clone Wars. So I think this is almost doing the same thing. It's giving us the backstory to everything before we get to the big picture, which unfortunately is only going to be 3 episodes. But
and I guess that's that's the Mando season 3 problem, right? Yeah. Because it's really only 3 or 4 episodes in that season matter. Yeah, Ahsoka's kind of the same way. But yeah, we're okay, we're just spinning our wheels until we get to the meat of the story. And it's I just want to get there, because to be honest with you, I'm still going to look back. I think no matter what, and be wow, episode 3 was a huge waste of time. It was a 40-some minute episode, all flashback.
That's how I felt about 4 of the episodes right at the end of Bad Batch. There was 4 episodes where we didn't move really at all for a month straight. And it's unfortunate, but I guess that's just how things are starting to go from now on.
Yeah, but in Bad Batch, I can spare 4 episodes because I got 16.
And that's true. And those episodes are only 20 minutes long. But with this one, you only have... It's the same thing with Kenobi or Boba Fett, for example.
Yeah.
When you have the 6 episodes or 7 episodes, they need to all be bangers, so there's no time for bullshit.
Right. I better be I better be hyped every single week. I better be Mando season 2. I want to be wild.
Yeah. I think Mando season 2 did it extremely well as I would say even with Ahsoka after episode 5, how it each episode was leading towards I
rewatched Ahsoka, a few months back, and I liked it more the second time. I was I liked almost every episode. I said the only one I didn't love was the second episode where they go to the shipyard or whatever. I was kind
Yeah.
of like, okay, you know, you could have summed that up in the beginning.
And I honestly
So,
think those two episodes, 1 and 2, were supposed to be together. Like, it wasn't supposed to be
yeah,
split, but they wanted to do the 2-episode premiere, so they split it.
yeah. I mean, that would have made episode 1 like an hour and a half long, which would have
Yeah.
been cool. I mean, that would have been a cool first episode because it would have been like, okay, now the story's starting. Like, it would have been like a prologue, basically.
Yeah. And I think that's what episode 1 through 3 was with the Acolyte.
Yeah,
Almost.
kind of. I don't know. All I know is I'm ready to see who Kamir's master is, dude. I'm like that. I'm dying to see. I mean,
And I want to see. I'm so excited to see like where this is going to lead with Kamir, because we know that Sol has to die at some point. I'm more interested to see where this is going to lead with Kamir, and is he going to be the founding member or one of the founding members of the Knights of Ren, or like we heard Kylo's theme multiple times.
Yes,
so,
it's glad to Cantina actually said that a few minutes ago. I'm sorry, guys. I'm way behind in the chats, but we'll get there. But yes, Kylo's theme was played.
yeah.
Is he like? Okay, I heard a theory on this. I'll share that. Some think that Kamir is. He said, you may call me a Sith. So some think he may have been a Sith at one time and is just now he wants his own thing. He wants freedom. He did say that. And he's going to split off from the Sith Order and start his own, order, the Knights of Ren, which is interesting, but it would be way more interesting if the Knights of Ren did anything in the sequels.
Yeah. I think it might lead toward the direction, especially with Ahsoka with Balin, because Balin also was talking about wanting to start his own new order.
That's true. That's true.
But I would almost hope that because we know that Manny Jacinto said that he is a Sith Lord.
Yeah, he did say that.
But the way that he worded it in the episode was like, you might call me a Sith, but I'm not really a Sith. Like Dooku wasn't really a Sith, so
well, but he was.
Yeah, like he was, but he wasn't. Like he was Darth Tyrannus, but
Sith Lords are a specialty. I mean, that's a quote, man.
But like, to me, like Dooku is more of like
a fallen
like,
Jedi.
He's more like Balin. That's why like I think like Dooku was Balin's master at one point in time, because they're so similar. Cool. And I think that's going to be the same thing with Kamir, is that like either he is currently an apprentice to Darth Tenebrous or Plagueis, or at one point he was, and they somehow he let him live.
Yeah,
I don't know. I would rather it be that he's like him and Osha kill Tenebrous or something, and then he goes and creates the Knights of Ren. Just because then that'll step away from that, and that'll leave the room for Plagueis to come in.
For the Plagueis novel to remain as is. Yes, I agree. There were rumors long before the show released that Keanu Reeves was going to be in the show, possibly as a Revan, possibly as Kamir's master.
We talked about that when the news came out. I remember we talked about that on one of the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
This was like almost 6 months ago, I think.
I mean, if it's Revan, I hope it's like some sort of flashback where maybe they're explaining the history of the Sith. That'd be really cool.
HoloMessage as well.
Yeah, HoloMessage would be cool. Otherwise, it'd be interesting if he was the Sith Lord.
Or even just like, it would kind of be cheap, but even just like the Quinlan was here, like on like a wall, like just something, to reference his name in canon, because we almost got him twice in Clone Wars and didn't. So
it's crazy, and he is canonized though because of Rise of Skywalker, right?
I don't know if we can fully say it or not. I don't
know. Let's see here.
Everyone in Tunes, got the scoots except for Raiders. Yeah, that's true.
Very true. All right, 3.5 out of 5.
Fair rating.
3.5 is fair. 3.0.
Fair.
I love the show. 5 stars. All Star Wars is fun. Hey, fair enough. 4 out of 5. Enjoy the show, but it's had its faults. Sure. I mean, but what Star Wars project like doesn't have its faults?
Yeah.
Besides like Empire or Rogue One or something. Just like I don't know.
I love Empire, but at the same time, it's the same thing with A New Hope, where sometimes when I rewatch Empire, I'm like, okay, I want it to start picking up a little bit more or a little bit quicker than it is.
Yeah, it's a slow burn for sure.
I think it's more of just like the stuff on Dagobah for me. Like, I'll just be honest, I fucking hate snakes, and
Oh,
seeing the snakes on like on the
not
Dagobah
your
scenes, I'm
thing.
like, yep, I'm not watching this thing. I'm gonna go wait.
Fair enough. I love the vibe on Dagobah, like the rain. And
You won't be catching me dead on Dagobah, dude.
Oh man, it's crazy. Prequel battles were more theatrical. OT fights, proper sword fighting. Yeah,
Especially with your short you just uploaded.
yeah, with Luke.
With Mark Hamill training, like I can get behind that.
It is. It's very much like classical sword fighting. Yeah, I uploaded a short. It's behind the scenes of Mark Hamill training for Empire Strikes Back, and it's
with the bell bottoms on.
Yeah, he's got bell bottom jeans on. It's crazy. Like he couldn't wear anything comfortable. He had to train in his damn jeans. It's like wild. Jango Fett got his head chopped off. There was plenty of lightsaber deaths in the prequels.
Yeah, I mean we technically saw one with Ahsoka and two with the Acolyte, but Ahsoka was more showing of it. Acolyte just put me on a tree.
Behind a tree.
That was still sick though. Like,
yeah, we all knew what was happening.
Like force pulling them onto the saber. Like a second to him, I'm like, yep, they're gonna turn into a kebab. Like it's dude.
Powwow Fam says, loved hearing Kylo's theme. I think everything is intentional. I think it's 100% too. They're not just doing it for no reason. Oh, she said it was intentional. Okay.
Yeah, it was in one of those screenshots essentially that she was like, I can't speak on this, but yes, it was intentional or something along those lines. It's like you heard correctly, I thought you said. Okay, yeah, here. In the same vein, there are bits of Kylo Ren's theme that play throughout the episode. Can you speak to that connection, or is this something we have to wait to see? I wish I could. It is there on purpose, but I can't tell you why, and I can't go into what it is, but you shall see. From Leslie Headland. So, yeah. We are in for a ride.
Dirge should be active around this time. He's another who can go up against Jedi. Dirge is canon now.
Yeah. I feel like if he were just to show up now randomly, it would feel so out of place. Like, I'd rather him show up, like, in episode 1 or 2 and have, like, a side story with him. Like, what Chrysanthemum should have gotten with the Kenobi show. Have him be, like a supporting character that has his own arc throughout the show.
That would have been cool. I wish we got the Chrysanthemum thing. Yeah. Canon plus Legends material equals best Star Wars projects. I think this is the key right here, Clark. Yeah. If they could successfully, and Marvel MCU did it perfectly. They took the old comics, they blended it with what they were trying to do with the new movies that they were trying to put out, and they gave us the Thanos storyline, which already existed, but a new refresh version of it. And this is, I think, what Dave is trying to do with Thrawn and Heir to the Empire. I think he's going to take elements of Heir to the Empire and he's bringing it into canon. And I think it's the way to go. You don't have to one for one. Not everything needs to be a one for one replication of the novels.
I don't even think they can do a one for one at this point. It's too late.
No, they can't. They can't. So I think you do have to implement Legends material into canon. I think that's the key, personally.
Yeah. Take the best things from it and make it your own. And that's exactly what Dave is doing. At least I believe so anyway.
I gotta agree completely. I'm sorry, guys. There are a lot of chats. I'm trying. I want to see the bleeding of a lightsaber in live action.
If we don't get that by episode 8, I'm not going to be upset. I'm going to be disappointed. Like, I would there's 8 sabers on the ground there on Brendok. I mean, I would love just to, like, have Kamir take one of those and then, like, force Osha to bleed her emotions into it, like Dagan Gera. I was just replaying Survivor before we started streaming, so, like, I would love to see that.
That'd be sick. Soul, maybe? I don't think Soul survives.
Season. I don't think he survives, and I would love to see him turn, but at the same time, I don't know.
I just could see Osha taking his saber since she was his apprentice.
But if
they put it into
Osha turns into Kamir's apprentice, I don't think she would, unless it's like a trophy to her. But
yeah,
that would feel like
she bleeds it. Maybe he lied to her about all the shit in her past. I don't know.
I mean, that just feels like that's such like a huge 180 to me. Like I don't know.
But either way, if she walks away with Kamir, it's gonna feel like a 180.
Really?
In a way, like she hasn't shown any dark side tendencies at all. Not even one.
Okay, but also I'm thinking about like this. We've seen we've seen May use the Force multiple times, especially when she's younger, and we haven't seen Osha use it. I don't think it's because she doesn't know how to use it. I think it's because she knows that she's very powerful in it, and she doesn't know her own strength, so to speak.
Possibly.
I mean,
that's a good point.
I'm just thinking, like, why
not
they hit it
overpowered or something? You know, I don't want her to be overpowered.
Well, yeah, I don't want her to be overpowered either. I just think that like there's a reason why we're in episode 6 now, and she hasn't used the Force yet. May used it in episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, and she even said like you always sucked at blocking. So, like they keep making subtle hints to like the fact that May is using the Force and Osha isn't.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen there, man. It's interesting. Yeah, so that part's pretty interesting. Osha's storyline is more interesting than May's, who was just like walking through the forest and is like, yeah, I don't really want to do this anymore. I don't want to kill these. I don't want to get the revenge anymore. So I'm just going to like quit.
I still think that was a bait, though. I still think she was baiting the shit out
of I'm so confused. Like, that's what I'm wondering. Like, dude,
because why did she try running away 4 times in episode 5 and also 2?
Instead of saying like I'm with you, like
yeah, when Osha was going to turn her in, May fought against it. That's why I'm like, okay, she was just playing the shit out of Kamir because she knew he was up to something. Like when he was trying to like manipulate her and stuff on the way to the Force when they were walking, and he was like taking like the subtle like digs at her. I think she picked up on it.
Do you think she was like trying to like get him to show his true self or something?
I think so. I don't think she knew fully that he was the Sith Lord. But I think she knew that he had something that he wasn't telling her, and based off of the way that he kept switching when he was like, what was his name again? Soul, like,
yeah.
In that, like in those scenes, like she definitely picked up on what he was putting down.
Huh?
Like I like because of how big that switch was, I feel like she was just like playing those mind games with them because he would act rationally, which he did. I mean. He got to Kelneka before anyone else did, killed him, and then showed up and just wreaked havoc.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm just wondering why. Like, what's going to come from that? Let's say you're right? And she was like, okay, I figured out Kamir. I'm going to, like, bait him into thinking I've turned. But, like, what does she get out of that? Like, especially if she didn't know he was a Sith Lord.
I mean, I doubt this is the case, but maybe...
Like, that's why I'm confused.
Removing the competition for Kamir's master,
or who she thought was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it really was Kamir.
That could add up. That's
kind of thinking. Like she was thinking, like if she removes Kamir, then the Sith Lord will take her instead. But the Sith Lord's Kamir.
Sure.
So his negative IQ doesn't switch in the Jedi Temple.
I think he's gonna do that like first thing. Like
yeah, I think that, like because how is Vernestra going to show up and know the exact location that they're at?
Yeah,
without a tracker.
That's gonna happen pretty quickly, I think, in this episode. But it'll be interesting if he says it's a Sith, because if he does, that's gonna be a little bit lore breaking, in my opinion.
But if it's only Vernestra that hears it, I think
then now she has to die. If she can't just go running around keeping all these secrets from the council, that's crazy.
I think she's in on it, dude. I think she's been sketchy, just like Soul, throughout the entire season. She definitely has something that she's doing on the like outskirts. Like she's been too sketchy for me to like just like I don't know. Same thing with Soul. Like there is something that he did, and we know that there's something that he did, and it's just a matter of time. Like. I mean, from episode 5, we saw him almost turn to the dark side. Like you saw, like the realization of "oh shit" on his face,
right?
When Osha like said his name.
Oh, it's interesting stuff, man. There's a lot of unknowns. It's one of the things about the show is that it's clearly like kind of stringing you along without any answers, and it's like hopefully it'll all be revealed soon. But
yeah,
it's hard to say, man. Some part of me thinks we're still gonna have questions at the end of the season, into season 2 or whatever.
I think we should. I think we will, but that's the same thing with Mando, Ahsoka, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I guess Mando season 1, like we see the Darksaber right at the end. We're like,
Yeah, which is like, holy shit, how did they get this?
like, yeah. Ellie, what do you guys think about the rumors they hired an intimacy coach on set? Could that come into play in the next episodes where they dive into more Sith stuff? I'd never heard that rumor.
Yo, yeah. When did? I mean, I'm not discrediting it, but I would love to learn more about this because I'm so confused by it. Maybe for
I did not hear that at all, but
I mean, maybe for Amandala for playing twins and playing like two sides of it.
Leslie said something pretty interesting in the interview you sent me though about like her being seduced by the dark side. So
I mean,
dude,
they use the word seduce so loosely. The only person who got seduced is Bix. Let's be honest. Like the only person that got seduced
doing the seducing. What do you mean?
Yeah, she was the aggressor. I'm saying like she was only seducing that was done. That was by Bix.
This is true. Oh, we haven't had a lot of Disney seducing. At all.
Pizza time. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Yeah. If you can find an article or anything, please link down in the descriptions or in the chat so we can take a look at it.
Yeah. I would agree. I'd love to see that. Felix, welcome. In Legends, Tenebrous had an unnamed Twilight Master that first opened a tear into the Force that begins to blind the Jedi. I think it's some like I do think they're going to honor the Plagueis situation, especially because Plagueis is canon, right? He's been mentioned by Palpatine in the movies,
and we saw the picture of him from the book,
right, in the canon timelines book. So I think they're going to honor Plagueis and his story. I think for the most part. I don't know if they will Tenebrous though. That'll be the question. I think.
Yeah, it'll whatever the reveal is at the end is what. We'll know the answer then. Is it going to be Plagueis? Is it going to be Tenebrous?
Yeah.
Like, that'll answer that question. But it's a toss-up between the two. I'm hoping, honestly, for Tenebrous. And that, like, with the end of Season 2, that'll lead into Plagueis. Because Plagueis and Tenebrous tried to kill each other multiple times with different acolytes. Several, if I'm not mistaken. Like, the role of an acolyte is to literally overthrow your own master.
Right.
Yes, they're a follower, but every single time an acolyte has been used, they end up being used to try and overthrow the master.
There was also something about Tenebrous was like, I don't remember if he was like trying to stockpile or like hide like all the Cortosis ore. But he definitely wanted it. And we know that obviously Kamir's helmet and gauntlet is Cortosis. So
and Cortosis is I can't even speak. Is very hard to find.
Very rare.
Especially like
very rare.
It's like vibranium or adamantium. It's very hard to find. So,
yeah. Like Beskar.
Yeah. I would say even rarer than Beskar, honestly.
Probably, yeah. I mean, they made freaking thousands of suits of armor out of Beskar.
Yeah, yeah, I would assume that that's something like because with Kamir's helmet, she broke the back plate off of it, and obviously, like he can just put something else there. But I feel like he's gonna want to almost get more, like for the next time, like Phase 2, for example.
Yeah, Cortosis is really brittle though, so it does break easily. It's more of the effect it has on lightsabers more than anything,
and blasters too.
Yes,
because obviously, like he didn't, like weapon, he got stunned and it didn't do shit.
Right. So Ishigen, I want to read this because I think you make a good point here that George Lucas wanted to focus on coming of age, hero's journey, that kind of thing, and I think that you're right. This is it. It's okay for the show to focus on the younger characters, Osha and May. They don't need to all be a crazy. We don't need everything to be Force Unleashed.
Yeah, and George also said that the Force Unleashed was created just so that everyone could see what it would look like if someone had unlimited potential in the Force. It was never intended to be canon, and it was never going to be canon.
Right.
That was just to show you like what could really happen.
It's just a video game, so yeah. Osha being the selfish one. That's good points. Good points. Another good point right here, though. 70 million more in budget than Revenge of the Sith, even with today's technology being available. How did that happen? Inflation's playing a big part, but like I'm not seeing the two. Let's put it this way: Dune costs the same amount of money. Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
Dune Part 2. At the end of the day, when you look at the amount of time on screen of the characters, it's going to be almost the same amount of time for 8 episodes that Dune Part 2 is.
Yeah, and obviously we're still waiting on the next 2 episodes, and they could have insane visuals and stuff to rank up that budget. But I'm gonna wait to comment on that just until the end of the show, just because I don't want to comment loosely before then, in case there is some big action set piece.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I believe that was last episode. I could be wrong though.
I kind of feel the same way. I feel like a big part of the budget went to last episode's choreography and lightsaber fights, and there's just a lot happening, a lot of force work, So,
yeah. I mean, we still have the Kanaka fight though too, and
that's
gonna
be a big one. Yeah, I think there's a lot of wire work there.
Yeah, wire work, CG, the whole 9 yards.
Why can't Soul see May's forehead mark? I was kind of wondering the same thing. Is it like just totally hiding behind her hair?
Yeah, when I was recording stuff for my video today, I was going back through the frames, and you can just you could see it, but you would have to like move her hair to see the full thing and to like acknowledge it. Most of her hair is covering it, and it's in the right spot to where it's perfect coverage, if you can say it that way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, because I still don't think that she could have cut her hair that perfectly with a lightsaber. But yeah, whatever. It's the Force. I'm
gonna let that one slide. That was pretty dumb. He says he wants freedom. That's a reference to the end of the Sith Code. Okay. I didn't know that. I haven't read the whole Sith Code. I know the whole piece is a lie thing is in there, but
James.
Yeah, I'm not super up to date on that. A good example of good storytelling with characters is KOTOR 2. Kreia makes you question your actions without forcing you to do them. Yeah. KOTOR 2, sick. Okay. Llama Prop. How's it going, man? You can go ahead.
If he's not a Sith, then why does he feel the need to hide his identity to kill everyone who sees him? Because of the Jedi Code. That's why, I made the video saying that, I think Kamir was a part of the Jedi at one point in time because he knows their fighting styles. He knows the rules of combat. He knows the Jedi Code and what can and cannot happen with the Sith. So he knows that everyone needs to die. He knows that everyone that sees his face will end up being killed by him because he cannot let that get out. That's... I think it's just a staying in the shadows thing because of if the Jedi know that there's a Sith around, they're going to send 10,000 Jedi after that one Sith. And he doesn't want to spend the rest of his life running. At least how I'd look at it.
It's a good point.
Plus, he's definitely a Sith if you look at any of the marketing. Yeah, but marketing has been all over the place with the show, along with countless other shows, and purposely to divert you. The Deadpool and Wolverine trailers are a prime example of that, with Sabretooth being blatantly in the trailer. They just had a CGI model over the top from the same shot. One being Sabretooth, Tyler Mane, and one being just a regular scavenger. Deception is Marvel and Disney's and Star Wars' biggest thing to divert expectations.
Yeah, that's been a big thing now for a while, it seems like, especially with all the leaks that are coming out these days and, just access to people who have worked on these things. Stuff gets out, so I think that they're trying to hide as much as possible. I'm still not completely sold he's a Sith, but I'm definitely sold that he at least once aligned himself with a Sith at some point in the past.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Or wants to align himself with the Sith. Hard to say.
Yeah, it could be a follower of the Sith, could be a current apprentice. Not really too sure, to be honest.
Yeah. Someone says they didn't even notice. RJ says he doesn't notice the tattoo until episode 3. In episode 1, when Trinity is battling her, she notices it and looks right at it because her hair comes back, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" So Trinity knows her, obviously. I'm just gonna keep saying Trinity. I don't even know what the character's name is.
Indara.
Master Indara. Thank you. Carrie Ann Moss. That's all I know. Revan and a holocron, Galactic Cantina says.
That would be cool to see too.
I am all for it. I am all for canonized Revan.
I am as well. I honestly like. I would love Keanu to play the character, but at the same time, I feel like it's almost too late now
Yeah, I feel like
for
he's too
Keanu.
old now for it. Yep.
Not even too old. It's just that like with Revan's age, I don't know. I wouldn't want them to DH Keanu and it take away from the performance.
Yeah, I would definitely not want them to DH him. I'd rather them just cast someone new. It's you don't have to. It's like we all wanted him, but at the end of the day, you're right. He's getting older. It's probably not going to work out. So it's just let's cast someone who can play it for real. If we're gonna get a KOTOR movie someday, the biggest twist if the show gets a season 2. I saw you commented back. You hit him back.
Archie just put this great thing. Ben Barnes, perfect for KOTOR Revan. I know you haven't seen Punisher, but plays Jigsaw and Punisher. Literally perfect. I'll send you a picture of him on Discord.
Okay. Wow, I am just trying to get us caught up a little bit here. Hey, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. What's going on? Gargot's Entertainment. I think Kylo's theme is for Osha, not Kamir.
That would be interesting. I thought he said Quagmire first.
I thought he did too. The way he spelled it.
That would be
Quagmire. Quagmire would be interesting. Yeah, this guy would work 100%. I love it.
Yeah, I think he would.
I just want a wall of death with Jedi and Sith like in the Old Republic animation. Yeah, I mean, to get a Sith like Empire back, you need to go farther back than where we are in the Acolyte.
I'm hoping with James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi, we'll get something with that.
There's a lot of potential in that project for sure.
Sorry, I just posted the link to that article for Llama to read.
There you go. I am skipping through some of these guys. It looks like you guys are having a great discussion though. Wish I could be a part of it someday. Palpatine was lying. Plagueis isn't real. Disney probably. Dude, you can't even imagine the like backlash they would receive if they decanonize Plagueis.
Well, I would be upset because they already canonized him and then they're gonna uncanonize him.
Yeah, you can't
that's where
even.
I'd be upset.
If they, I mean, because people are already like, okay, the witches were able to create life, but we don't really know how they did it. A Sith Lord easily could have helped. A Sith Lord named Plagueis easily could have helped them do it as his first trial run. But if they were just full on replaced like him creating like life with these witches only, oh dude, that's not a good look.
That's part of the entire reason why Plagueis killed Tenebrous was because like of creating life from the Force.
Mm-hmm. We've gotten really blue-balled with Kalnaka so far. Hopefully we get a good scene with him in the flashbacks. We are definitely getting a pretty crazy scene.
It's going to be insane.
Yeah. The clips are wild.
Yeah, they are. It's going to be interesting to say the least. Because we've never seen a Jedi Wookiee that is being mind-controlled like the Hulk in Age of Ultron. That's just going to be on a full-on rampage. Like, we've never seen that before.
I mean, we've never seen a Jedi Wookiee besides in animation.
Yeah, that's also true. So it's going to be... it's going to be insane to see.
I agree. Soul knows it's May. I think he does. I think he'll figure it out pretty quickly.
I think he will as well. And that's... I think when he spills the beans to her is when that's going to happen.
Yeah.
About like all the events.
It's going to hit the fan for sure. John Bernthal would make a good Revan.
I love John Bernthal, and I love him in so many things, but it's almost like I feel like we're getting almost too much of John Bernthal, and I don't want that to take away from the story because I love John Bernthal as an actor and as a storyteller. I just don't want him to become too mainstream. Like that's almost how I feel with Austin Butler, Glenn Powell. Like they're great actors, but they're they're in literally everything now, to where it's like same thing with Pedro Pascal. I love Pedro, but it's getting to be too much, to where it's like I can't believably think that this is actually a character, and I'm just seeing Pedro Pascal.
He's in literally everything. It's wild these days.
And I love both of them, especially John Bernthal. I want him to have the right roles for him. Like him and King Richard felt so weird. Like he was great, but it just didn't feel like it fit in there. I don't know.
Enough said. Llama Prop, we're just gonna wrap it up here, guys, so that we can move over to Caden's going to move over to a live stream. He's going to watch the episode. He'll do his watch party there. So we are going to wrap it up here. But thank you all for all the comments and for joining. It's been a really good discussion. Llama Prop says the article mentions a potential season 2. Yes, it's not 100% confirmed, meaning they don't have the funding yet. So, but it is essentially planned. So we'll see. It'd be interesting if Disney was like, "Nah, we're not paying $180 million for that show anymore." So
it'll definitely, if the budget will be.
They will cut. They'll reduce the budget for sure. And I'll leave you guys with this. That's it. That's Clark's comedy, and we're gonna get out of here. Everyone, head over to Caden's channel. I see it's like most of you are commenting from Caden's channel anyway, and check out the watch party. When are you starting? Like right away?
Yeah, I'm gonna be starting in the next couple of minutes.
Cool. All right, let's see this episode, and hopefully it's a good one.
Yeah, and I just want to say quickly, too, thank you for everyone who subscribed to Joe and myself as well. I know we both been getting some subscribers. Check out our shorts. To anyone who is new from the past couple days, welcome. And this is a semi-weekly podcast that Joe and I do, and hopefully we'll see you guys in the next following weeks.
Yeah, appreciate all the support, guys. It's really just cool to be part of the community, honestly. That's all I'm here for. So it's awesome. All right, we're out of here, guys. We'll see you later. Till next time. Enjoy the episode.
Deuces.